The Las Vegas Cybertruck attacker left a note to a friend, allegedly. But now we're starting to hear that he left notes on his phone as well.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
And Ozzy and Heather, before setting off this bomb at the Trump Hotel behind me, police say Matthew Livelsberger left behind something that they're calling a digital journal, notes in his phone that said in part that it was time for America to wake up and rally, his words, around President-elect Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And that has led the FBI and Metro Police to believe that this was all planned and all meant to be some sort of stunt. This new video we received today shows Livelsberger charging that Tesla Cybertruck that he would then explode in Kingman before the bombing. It's just one piece of new evidence, including photos and writings investigators found on his phone. Police say this video shows Livelsberger walking around that car, soon to be full of fireworks and consumer explosives that investigators say he actually bought on his way here in New Mexico. Now, writings on Livelsberger's phone indicates frustration with the military. And in one of them, he said, quote, "Fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans, time to wake up. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves." The FBI saying today there was no tie right now, no known tie right now, as to why he chose this hotel or that Tesla.
Now, what's interesting about this is, okay, he does what he did. I mean, he did this. First off, he's saying we must rally together, rally behind our new elected president, right? We need to rally behind Trump. But yet he goes and does this thing in front of Trump Tower in an Elon Musk Tesla. It just feels like it's sending off a different message. So I keep wondering. And then on top of it, he's saying we're being led by weak and feckless leadership right now who only serve to enrich themselves. So he's clearly talking about the current administration right now as we speak. Yet I'm confused. I think I'm not the only one here that's been following this, that's watching this, that's been checking this whole thing out. It doesn't make any sense because it feels like he's saying something else. He's sending off a different message. Also, how he had things rigged, what he had in the car with him to set off, if he did it correctly, it could have been much more massive. So like I said before, why wouldn't he just go in the middle of a field and set things off if that's what he wanted to do? You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense that he goes to Trump International Hotel, set this whole thing off in an Elon Musk electric car. Like I said, it just doesn't make it's not making any sense unless this is all supposed to be some sort of Kansas City shuffle. What the Kansas City shuffle is where they make you look left while they go right, right? It's all to mislead. It's all to jumble up the narrative so that the general public gets confused because maybe there's something else looming in the future that they don't want people to get ready for or something of that sort. Because like I said, what happened in New Orleans is wild. What happened in Las Vegas is absolutely devastating and shocking and scary as all hell. Because if he rigged that up properly, there could have been a lot more damage than just hurting, taking his life and hurting, giving 7 other people minor injuries. So like I said, it's just so odd to me that we're looking at this and still we don't know fully why this person, this monster did what he did. This definitely, as we talked about before, was not a peaceful act. This was not an act of peace. It definitely is not. So like I said, if you're saying we must rally behind, why go set a Cybertruck off with you inside it in front of a place that's owned by the person you're saying to rally behind? And also in the car that's owned by somebody who is basically his new bosom buddy, his bestie right now, Elon Musk. So again, the narrative and the message is getting a little off kilter. Now, let me just say this too. I don't know a whole lot about PTSD. and all that. Now I understand that there's a few other things that allegedly triggered him, like drones and stuff like that as well. And the drones flying over New Jersey and all that stuff as well. So I keep wondering that maybe all of this got jumbled up in his mind. And then, of course, he did this and he thought that maybe the message he was going to leave behind was going to be very prominent and very profound. But honestly, a lot of it, I think, is getting lost within the message and the choices that he made before he set everything off. But then again, like I said, I am no expert. I don't know a lot about PTSD in that regard. And hopefully we get to understand a little bit more over time here in the near future.
Through these interviews, we've found that the subject held no animosity towards the president-elect. That's something that's also been reported. Investigative steps have discovered, and information from the Army indicates that he likely suffered from PTSD, and we are also aware that there were potential other family issues or personal grievances in his own life that may have been contributing factors. Again, we're looking into all of that.
Now, what's interesting to me about this part too, and of course I got to, cut in and out for fair use and all that. But here's the thing: what's interesting about this part, why is it that, like, even with the Jabbar guy in New Orleans, same situation, divorces, ex-wives, he had mentioned about things, in his relationship, wanted to do some unthinkable things to his family and all that, but instead decided to take it out on civilians on Bourbon Street. And then now you got the same thing here where it's like, he was going through, it sounds like was going through, had already gotten done with a divorce, and of course, having I guess sad about the relationship or something like that. I don't know. It's like this is what people do when they're brokenhearted. I don't know. It just, something about this just seems very weird to me. But we're going to continue.
Livelsberger's father telling CBS News that his son worked with drones in the military. Today, the Sean Ryan Show, that's a podcast hosted by a former Navy SEAL, released an interview with a former intelligence analyst who said he received an email from Livelsberger in the days before this explosion. The analyst says that email includes information about Chinese drones and national security threats. The FBI would only tell us that they are now trying to see if it is in fact Livelsberger who sent that email. And Metro also saying they were aware of that email, that they've known about it for several days, and they are looking through it, and that's why they released those excerpts to us today. Also important to tell you that Metro and the FBI believe that this was 100% Matthew Livelsberger alone, that he drove the car here, that he died by suicide here, and he is the only one responsible. They're trying to figure out, though, exactly how he detonated that bomb. And we'll talk about that coming up on 8 News.
Yeah, that's something that doesn't make any sense as well to me. Okay. I mean, you got a guy who set this whole thing up, rented out the Cybertruck, drove it over to Las Vegas, and then did this thing. And of course, they said it was rigged and it had enough in there to be a much bigger blast, but it didn't happen that way. If he was only doing this to do this to him, for it to only be one casualty, if you get what I'm saying, why would he need all of that? And why would he need all of that material in the car? That's just one thing I'm kind of curious about. And then, of course, again, he pulled up in the valet area of Trump Hotel and then set the whole thing off. He didn't go out in the middle of the desert. He could have pulled off on the side of the road. He could have done so many different other things, but he did not. He went to a populated area, Las Vegas, for crying out loud, and did what he did. Again, to me, I go, make it make sense. And then on top of that, the notes, at least the notes that were found in his phone, are saying something else. And again, this is me wearing the tinfoil hat, and that's fine by me. But something seems a bit off, that the note that he sent to one of his former former colleagues, former military, says one thing. And I'm not saying that they're saying two drastically different things. No, not at all. But it's just interesting that you have that email, then you have notes in his phone. And I can see why some people might be side-eyeing the information that's being found in his phone, because it could have just been randomly put in there too. But like I said, anything is possible in this situation. And of course, we got to ask these questions because we are all inquisitive mother lovers. But what are your thoughts? Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button down below. Crush that subscribe button. We're keeping on this, and we will be going live in just a little bit, covering all the new updates and then some revolving around this Matthew Livelsberger very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that, okay? But it's time to get going. Subscribe. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Talk to you guys soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.